Lynnette Holsinger, the current president of HR Florida State Council. You can find us located at www.hrflorida.org. So how do we deal as an organization and as HR professionals with the summertime? It brings back great memories, and it is a great time to celebrate. However, from a HR perspective, as well as an organizational perspective, it can be quite challenging to face this season. So what are some things that you can do as an organization to make it more pleasant and still maintain a high productivity and a high morale within your organization during this time? Some things that you should think about: flexible work schedule. So for example, if you work 8 to 5 typically, maybe allow your employees to choose when they come in. Maybe during the summertime, they prefer to come in at 10 and work till 7 versus 8 to 5. Think about leave early Fridays. Every Friday, all of your employees would leave by 2 o'clock, for example, in the summertime versus 5 o'clock, allowing them to start their weekends early with their family members. Think about what are some other things in terms of maybe events, fun in the sun. That's what we think about, such as barbecues, picnics, beach trips. Maybe you take a trip to Adventure Island or Disney Springs, go to a local park, take advantage of the springs or the lakes that are there, go kayaking. Maybe also think about, do you want to consider some alternative dress code policies in terms of the summertime and what that can mean coming to work with maybe a boat shoe or a summer dress that you wouldn't typically do throughout the year. These are all great things to think about during the summertime that will allow your employees to have some flexibility and still enjoy that time of the season while still being at work. Think about, what about food trucks or dessert trucks, such as frozen lemonade? Everybody enjoys that. Or hammock zones. If you have a great site with some trees, some shaded area where you can have your employees go out during the day, maybe take a laptop while they're still being productive, utilize it maybe as a break area or to read a book and have lunch. These will offer great opportunities to also allow your employees to get in the sun. As well as, how do we as professionals think about what can we do when we're dealing with such a high volume PTO requests, for example? This is a very high volume time. People want to take vacations or take time off to be with their kids and their family. You need to think about, as an HR professional or as an organization, how you're going to manage that most appropriately. Do you review your policy annually? Do you review it prior to the summertime beginning? If you don't, that might want to be something you think about, because you might want to tweak it. Do you stick with adhering to compliance in terms of that policy? What's the submission time frame for requesting? Is there a certain time frame that they need to submit prior to? And is it first come, first serve? Whatever that is, just make sure that you are adhering to it so that you're being consistent with that policy and applying it fairly. Things to think about are, what about an alternative? If you did have to deny someone a date or a date range of having time off during this year because maybe there was someone else or several people who already selected those dates, and from a staffing perspective, you still have to think about that. Is there an alternative you can offer to that employee that you had to deny, such as an extra day off or something that just helps soften, you having to deny them that time? So please think about how you are going to manage that time and manage it fairly. Additionally, how do we utilize all of these great benefits that you're talking about? Great events, bringing people together. You want to record these events. You want to talk to your team members. You want to take pictures. You want to take videos. If you share this information via social media, whether your home pages or your website, what are some ways that you can let candidates know, here's what's going on in your organization? Snapshot interviews, little type blogs, just as we're doing right now. Here, have the employees share their stories. The greatest strength you have is, how can I send the message of, this is a great place to work and here's why. Tell it through your employees. Have them share, here's our fun, here's our laughter. Yes, we're highly productive. We're very goal-oriented, but at the same time, one of the requirements is that you do have to have fun here. Sharing their stories will allow everyone, all of the candidates, and even maybe candidates who aren't looking at the time, that maybe look later to say, here's why I should work here. I feel really strongly about my coworkers, my employer as a whole, and how they feel about family and how they feel about fun. And while we're still getting things done, they still care about me as a person. To have an employee share their story, their laughter and their smiles, the candidates will see it. It will come through their eyes. So you want to make sure that you have that information out there, because your greatest recruitment tool at the end of the day is your current employees.